Hello and welcome back to the Academy of Anaesthesia. Today we're going to pivot away from pharmacology and discuss the physiology of pain perception. Like with all high yield topics, this one appears not only in both parts of the FRCA but also in the Faculty of Pain Medicine exams. It's a topic that is often neglected, but I'm going to give you an easy and simple approach to the question. So first off, there are a few important keywords that you have to emphasize to the examiner. These are number 1, transduction, number 2, transmission, number 3, modulation, and number 4, perception. Next, the structure we're going to use to classify the pathway are first order, second order, and third order neurons. We're going to use these keywords as a skeleton on which we will hang all the details we need to know for the exam. If you remember these points, the rest of the details will follow logically. Number 1. Transduction occurs at the periphery. Here, a noxious or potentially noxious stimulus is converted into an electrical signal, hence transduction. If you remember from your physics and equipment definitions, a transducer converts a signal from one form to another. How does this occur? Several types of noxious stimuli exist. They could be thermal, chemical, or mechanical. What they do is activate special types of receptors in the sensory neurons, which are called nociceptors. The technical definition of a nociceptor is a free unmyelinated nerve ending capable of generating action potentials in response to a variety of stimuli that are generated by cellular damage. In basic terms, they are specialized at detecting when injury is about to occur or has occurred and can send signals based on that. The signals are carried on A delta or C fibers. A delta fibers are fast, myelinated, and can give us the sharp localized pain sensation. C fibers are slower and can give us that dull throb-like pain that is hard to accurately pinpoint. The signal travels along the first order neuron towards the spinal cord, past the dorsal root ganglion on the way, and synapses with the second order neuron in the grey matter of the spinal cord. Here, the main neurotransmitter of note is substance P. If we divide the spinal cord into sections, also known as laminae, the fibers synapse in laminae 2, 3, 4 or 5. The second order neuron first crosses over to the other side at the same level and then travels up the spinal cord in the spinothalamic tract. It follows the same tract as the signals for temperature, and this is why we test for cold sensation after a spinal anaesthetic, to prove we've blocked this tract. This is known as transmission, number 2. As it travels up the spinal cord, signals are constantly being sent down by the brain and the higher centres to modulate any incoming messages. This is known as modulation, number 3. We'll discuss modulation of the pain signal at the end of this video. Finally, the second order neuron synapses in the thalamus with the third order neuron, and the signal will then be relayed to and processed by the somatosensory cortex and the pain matrix. This is number 4, perception. Here, our somatosensory cortex tells us exactly where the pain signal is coming from and allows us to feel that pain. That's the overall basic structure of the pain pathways. We've gone through the first order, second order, and third order neurons, as well as covering transduction, transmission, modulation, and perception. I've added a few extra details that are commonly asked about in the written part of the exam, but for the VIVA, the extra details are what I like to call garnish on the plate. You may get asked to start off with a definition or two, such as the definition of nociception, nociceptor, allodynia, or hyperalgesia. So make sure you practiced a few quick and concise definitions the week before the exam so you're not left fumbling. I'll leave some of these in the video description below if you want to use my definitions. Last but not least, going back to modulation, we can classify this in the exact same structure as the pain pathways, i.e. the first order, second order and third order system. First off, we have the gate control theory of modulation. This argues that by rubbing the affected body part, you can activate touch or A beta fibers, which will override and close the gate, not allowing pain signals to get through. Here I'm going to draw a quick diagram. This is an A beta fiber and this is a C fiber. And in the middle there's an inhibitory interneuron in an area called the substantia gelatinosa. When the A beta fiber is activated, It also activates the inhibitory interneuron, which blocks the signals from the C fibers getting through. This occurs right at the end of the first order neuron, as it's passing the signal onto the second order neuron. A clinical application of this process is the use of TENS machines in chronic pain. The machine activates A beta fibers and blocks the pain signals, which provides relief from the pain. Next, we have descending modulation in the spinal cord at the level of the second order neuron. Here, signals sent from higher centres, such as the periaqueductal grey area or the nucleus rhamphimagnos, travel down the spinal cord and alter the signal. The important point here is that NMDA receptors are involved, and neurotransmitters such as serotonin and noradrenaline play a major role. This explains why magnesium and ketamine are used as analgesic agents, as they both act on NMDA receptors. It's also why serotonin noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors such as duloxetine are used in the management of chronic pain. The other modulation system that acts here is the endogenous opioid system, but I'll be covering this in another topic, so I won't go into detail. Finally, at the level of the third order neuron, or within the brain, you have the pain matrix. The pain matrix is a series of interconnected centres that modulate the pain signal. It's not important to know all the centres, but a few of note are the amygdala, the anterior cingulate cortex, and the prefrontal cortex. As a side note, the amygdala is what provides the emotional component to the pain experience. And that's it. That's all you need to know to answer this question in a VIVA. The basic diagram is a massive oversimplification of the complex system in reality, but it's all the clinically relevant points. One of the best tips I can give is if you get asked any question about the pathophysiology of pain syndromes, whether that's chronic pain, CRPS, post-amputation pain, post-herpetic neuralgia, etc., try to answer the question by classifying your statement into what is happening at the periphery, or the first order neuron, what's happening at the spinal cord, the second order neuron, or what's happening in the brain, or the third order neuron. With this structure, your answer will flow and appear more logical. I hope you found the video useful, and thank you for watching. Please leave any suggestions in the comments section below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.